Hi there. Welcome back to TekTopia with me, 4-Leaf Clover. I hope you're feeling lucky today. I got quite a bit done between episodes, so I have quite a bit to show you. So let's get geared up and get right to it. First, I hired quite a few new farmers and lumberjacks. And to house them all, I needed plenty more spaces for them to live, such as this riverside cottage. I love the simple build palette. On this side, we have a manor by the woods. With sharp angled roofs, I really enjoyed that build. Now, this Tudor style house was a bit of a struggle for me, but in the end I think it made it there. I really enjoy how this turned out. However, this sturdy granite and limestone building and simple house at an angle with a mansard roof didn't turn out quite as I'd hoped, and after leaving them there for a while, I've decided to take them down because they just weren't working for me, and I wanted to give it a different try. I probably will come back to both these palettes in the future. I really think that both of these could work really well, I just don't like how they turned out this time. I've seen plenty of amazing builders use granite and limestone or a tan sandstone in a similar fashion, but theirs turned out a lot better, so I'm going to try that again, maybe with some more inspiration this time. However, since these were being lived in, I needed to replace these living spaces before I tore them even down, so the intro you saw was not me digging out the mines. Actually, I was digging out space for these. I've got 6 beds in each one, and there's 2 up here and 2 down here, and we've already had some villagers move in, hence why some of the beds are already green, just while I was finishing off the details. And all that's left is I'm going to put a couple clothing items on the armor stands down here. And then we should be good to go. Is there not one in there? And again, all of the tokens for the structures are hidden away in these closets and things so that they're out in the open. Just a personal choice, but I think it makes it a bit nicer to look at. This one you can't even see, but it still works just fine, which is really nice. Go up here. I also tried to make it so that we had different reasons for there to be chairs in each area, because villagers really enjoy sitting in chairs in the evening, but sometimes it can be hard to find ways to work it into the build. But I made it so that we had a library reading section, a dining area, we have a smaller maybe workshop or game table situation, and just a conversation sitting area, as well as each villager has their own little desk, however they prefer to sit. That way they can sit in a group or all together, and that just gives them a few more options and allows us to keep things tucked away. And also, as I said earlier, the home tokens are hidden behind in the closets. And the last one, we'll get the chainmail. Quite happy with how these turned out. I know it's a bit tight for the living quarters, tighter than I was planning on using, but I found that I really need the space to fit in, but I've tried to make it so that there's still pleasant things to look at, like this fountain, and made sure there was plenty of space so there wouldn't be any overcrowding, because technically the structure comes out all the way out to here, so all of these spaces are counted toward the room size so that the villagers will enjoy their stay down here. And next up, I got right to our ranch pens. I've only got the sheep right now, but that's all I really need, is I'm struggling to keep enough wool on hand for all the projects. I like building with it, and it isn't super easy to collect by myself all the time, so I'm hoping to get a rancher, just to make that a little easier for future projects. Overall, this is a pretty simple project, but the biggest problem for me is I hate putting lights on my roof, but it's really hard to build a roof that's not too sloped and have it be spawn proof, so I decided to go with a upside down slab roof that's just a little bit staggered with air gaps in there. Hopefully it looks like there's ventilation just to keep the animals fresh but dry. But if you have any ideas for a great roof, let me know. And now that we got a pen set up for our animals, I want to move on to setting up the mines. I've already had a basic mine entrance, and I've built this pseudo mountain to come out and cover up the staircase down. But one of the benefits of mining for months before I founded the village is that I've got plenty of minerals to help get them started and a couple decoration blocks to make it look nice. Our mines should be fully decorated and ready for miners and our mine shafts to get set up. But before I get into that, there's one thing I want to do, and that is set up a drop chute to get my miners down here a lot quicker using a little bit of redstone. If you watched TangoTek's playthrough of this mod, he also did this, and I thought it was really cool, so I'm going to go ahead and try to set up the same right here. So our miners will just drop straight from there all the way down here, and they won't have to walk all the way down the stairs. They'll still have to walk back up, but at least we can get them down here quicker. The basic idea is I just want to take these 6 blocks and pull them out of under the villagers' feet as they walk across. And to do that, I'm actually going to use 4 pressure plates because I want to make it so that when they walk this way, it opens up, but when they're coming back home, hopefully it won't open up. So that way we weren't updating the village pathfinding system too often, or unnecessarily at least. We should just start out with blocks just below our pressure plates. I want to make it so that if this one gets triggered, it blocks this one from firing. So to do that, I'm going to go ahead have this repeater get locked by this one. And I want to make sure that it stays locked for a little while. So I'm going to go ahead and extend that pulse. I've already built this once in a test world real quick just to make sure that I could figure it out, but I haven't memorized it at all, so I'll be trying to remember it as I go along here. And this signal's got to come back around, and I'm going to hook up all these pistons. should be right where they need to be. Yep. Alright. That's going to be the basis of what we need to hook up here. Alright, I think it actually should be more like this. It should work, because this should mean that no matter how long they stand on these pressure plates, we only will get a short pulse here that I extend to a fixed amount of time, so it will always be the same amount, and that will lock these ones from firing through this side. And then out of that side, I'm going to take another signal from those two pressure plates, and when both this one and this one are on at the same time, but with this one being pressed first, we're going to have these be pulled out of under the feet of the villagers they walk past. So hopefully that makes some sense, and I'm going to go ahead and run a couple redstone lines here. Now when both are on, it should turn off this redstone line, and this redstone torch will come on shortly while this is all going off. That should make it so that we can go ahead and run our signal. No, that's too close to the piston. I have to have this go into an extension right here. Sure, lasts a decent amount of time. And off of this line right here, we're going to pull back the pistons on all sides. So first thing we need to do is make sure that they're actually extended by default. There we go. And those are locked in place. Perfect. Okay, so now we just need to get a signal to this block and that block over there for a short period of time. I'm actually going to shorten this pulse. Go ahead and pull a signal off this. Should be able to get redstone signal going both directions here. I'll just wrap this around. I'm not going to make it super pretty or anything or compact because I've got plenty of space down here. At least right now, as long as nothing goes wrong. I've got plenty of space. Let's see here. Put that up. Gotta clear one more block. Don't touch that line at all. It's just gonna go right into that block. Let me go ahead and make a little bit of a mess here as I try to climb back up. And let's go ahead and see. So if I walk on this way, nothing should happen. Oh, already that's wrong. Okay. And why is that not working? Okay, it's too short of a pulse. That's right. I need to get another repeater in here to extend that from the observer to a usable pulse by this pulse extender. I need a pulse extender for my pulse extender. Just a bit of a problem here. Let's see, actually. The observer can pull the signal off. I can't go that way because it'll interfere with the pistons. Actually, I can go down. There's plenty of space below this, and I'm going to get rid of that repeater temporarily. I put this looking up. This is imperfect, but it should work well in the end. That should give me enough of a delay. Yeah. That we get a signal now through our short pulse extender. Now, if I walk this way, nothing happens like it should. That way we can keep our village pathfinding from updating when we're coming up from the mines, but when we're going down into the mines, it opens right up and drops them all the way down. I need to put water down there before I fall down and hurt myself. But yeah, that's looking like it works. Oh. Did that just fire when I walked backward? Let's try that one more time here. If I run this way, it's opening up. Okay. Am I just too slow on it? It's too slow. Okay. Let's see if we can fix that real quick. Maybe just introduce just a touch of delay on that one. Now, yeah, it's locked long before it gets across that 2-tick gap. And I've put the water down at the bottom, so here goes the real test. Let's take off the armor to make sure that I take actually no fall damage when this happens. Let's see, if I'm just walking across, I fall straight down and perfect. No issues whatsoever. Now that we have our ranch pen and we have the mine shafts set up, the only thing left to do is to get the tokens set up for them. So let's go ahead and make those purchases. Should have enough emeralds. I've been trading every chance I get to make sure I have enough. Let's buy the structure tokens first, just to make sure we have enough. I'm going to get... Let's just start out with 3 mine shafts. They're fairly cheap, and want to make sure that our miners always have something to do. In fact, let's get a couple more, because I'm planning on having quite a few miners to get started here quickly. And then I've got a sheep pen is all I've got right now. Did I miss it? Chicken, cow? Ah, it was before. Gotcha. Oh, wow, that's quite expensive, but I should only need 1. We'll see. Maybe in the future. And also, let's go ahead and grab our miner tokens. Let's go ahead and get 3 miners to start with, and a rancher. I can put this up, and this is my attempt at hiding away the item frame. It's a little bit harder to do on these pens, and this is a bit too bulky for what I'd like to do in the future, so it'll probably just be the sheep pen that has its token hidden. Our cow and pig and chicken eventually. Right now it's storing our horses, but chicken pen will probably not have their item frame hidden like this. But I do like how this large tree is able to just give a bit more greenery to the area and break up the view from a distance. Because, like I mentioned earlier, these slats, while they do work and provide ventilation, quote unquote, for the pens, I do want to make sure to break up those lines so we don't have long horizontal lines. This way it breaks it up a bit and just adds a bit more depth to it. And then let's go ahead and put our mine shaft tokens down. And that worked flawlessly. Perfect. That'll help save a bunch of time for our miners, hopefully. And looks like I've already got the item frames down. Let's go ahead and plop in these mine shafts. And yeah, you're hearing slimes in there. Hopefully that's not too much of a problem, but we'll have to wait and see on that one. Perfect timing. The sun is just about to set, so hopefully tomorrow we will get some brand new nomads traveling in from one of the four corners. So, after many mornings of not finding any nomads coming in with the merchant, I didn't see any come in this morning with the merchant, but they must have come from another direction, because we've got at least one here, and I thought I saw another. A bard and a teacher. Not a miner or a rancher, but we can still use you. And a bard as well. Okay, we're going to make you both miners. Perfect. The miners are getting right to work. Unfortunately, I think they try to keep all of the mine shafts at the same depth, so I'm probably going to take down a couple of these tokens until we find other miners to work, because I don't want them switching back and forth. I want them focusing on one mine shaft each. So yeah, you can work in that one. I'll take this. And they should just work in those two mine shafts until we get more miners. And it looks like our miners have already found a nice place to stay in our new living quarters. And they're all just enjoying their evening together just before they go to sleep. So I have two problems here. One, the miners think it's a better path to walk all the way through this field, over this bridge, through the building, and then downstairs into their home, instead of just going across this bridge right here. So I think I'm going to fix that just by throwing in a temporary wall to stop their pathfinding from going this direction. And the other problem is I haven't been getting enough nomads, and so I don't have a rancher yet, and my sheep are dying of starvation, which is unique to TekTopia. But I think it doesn't seem like no matter what I do, if I feed them, I can breed them, but I'm pretty sure they still are damaged. Did that one go up in health? I can't tell. But if I get all their attention, I can just use a couple splash healing potions to keep them alive long enough. But I'm thinking I'm going to have to take another approach since I'm not getting enough nomads quick enough to make this work. So instead of waiting for nomads, I was going to wait until I had a school to use these, but I've got to get these now, so we'll just go ahead and use these tokens to get a couple miners, a rancher, and a blacksmith. And funny enough, even though you have to use these on an unassigned bed, they assign themselves to a different bed. I probably could have used all of those hearts on the same bed, and they would have just claimed a bed that they wanted anyways. So in a couple of days, we should be able to get them right to work. While waiting for our villagers to fall asleep, I went ahead and bought the blacksmith token, or the rather smithy token for the structure, and the blacksmith token for the profession as well, so that as soon as we get those children to grow up, which should just be a couple in-game days I believe, then we should have our blacksmith ready to work. Went to check on the village children this morning, and some of them have grown up and just ran out the door. I've already lost track of them. Here's one of them. He can be our rancher. Perfect. Let's see. Oh, here's one of our kids grown up. He can be our blacksmith. Perfect. He should get right up to work. And then where'd the other two go? And we should probably put this sheep pen back. I took it away because the sheep were starving and it was getting expensive to keep them alive waiting. So I went ahead and took it off so that they would stop starving, because that's all that was needed. But once I put it back, our rancher should get right to work and should have plenty of wheat to keep them well fed. This child hasn't grown up yet. Still skipping and playing by himself. Using the cauldron and the anvil at the same time. Oh, and already making diamond swords. Okay, yeah, we do need to monitor him a bit. So I don't think we need all of these things right now. With another bright and beautiful morning, we should have another 2 children growing up. Let's go check on them and make sure they're ready to get to work. I already went ahead and set up the mine shafts because, yep, sure enough, I've got 1 and 2 new miners ready to go. They should grab a pickaxe from the storage room and to replace the wooden one they start with, and they should be off to the mines fairly quickly. That's all I've got for today. Thank you so very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to hit that like button and let me know what I'm doing right. If not, go ahead and hit that thumbs down button. But either way, I hope you're having a fantastic day. And if you have any suggestions of what you'd like to see next, leave them down in the comments. And as always, I'd love to hear your names for my villagers. And if you'd like to make sure you catch the next one, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And make sure to ring the bell to be notified when I upload.